My next study tip is really geared towards medical school studying, where, especially as you get into the second year, I just found it was really challenging transitioning to what seems like just a lot of very related material, and it can become harder and harder to distinguish between different conditions where all of a sudden I was showing up for an exam and instead of being able to use the cues like, oh, the lung condition, oh, this one's the cardiac condition, all of a sudden the whole test was lungs, the whole test was cardiac, and the differences became really subtle between the different medical conditions, and some of my old study strategies and test taking skills were wearing out a little bit because the questions were very nuanced. And what I found helped me to break these questions down that were a lot more specific was, as I was studying the different respiratory conditions, I would pause after completing each section in the textbook or first aid about sarcoidosis, or the section in the lecture on sarcoidosis, and just pause and repeat back to myself what were the key elements of that condition. What did it look like? How was it identified? How was it treated? And what were any little unique pearls that went along with it? And it sounds really silly and simple, but just that act of pausing and repeating back for myself what went with this condition, it really helps solidify that information into the different buckets that it could be sorted into, instead of reaching the test and feeling like, oh my gosh, all these things are lung things. Suddenly I could pick up on the piece that was like, oh, that's what's supposed to tell me that this is sarcoidosis. And it made a huge difference for me. As soon as I started doing that, I did a heck of a lot better during second year of medical school. And it's something that's really carried on in my lifetime and in my clinical practice. So hopefully it's helpful for you. Good luck.